Welcome back to Bitcoin Advisors channel. My name is Chris, bringing it to you here from Westlake Village, California, where it is what? Beautiful. It's sunny. It's amazing. We love you down here at Bitcoin Advisors. So we're going to jump right in today. First things first, let's talk about some of our underlying market dynamics. And Bitcoin dominance here is ticking up just slightly here. Bouncing off that 39% region, probably heading up to about 46, as most of the altcoins are going to get slacked in this down market. If you ask me, if Bitcoin can't pick itself by its bootstraps up and get back above at least 44,000, better like, or more like 52,000. But we're going to go over that in a minute. But what other underlying market dynamics do we like to look at? First things first, open interest, right? That's all the money on the boards for derivative products. You're talking futures contracts, leverage trading. We're talking all that money that's on the board there. And where is it? 9.9 billion. So we're still hovering about 9.9 billion. We'd like that to come down between 5 and 8 billion to see a full reset. Now, what else do we like to check in our fear and greed index, which is coming in here at a whopping, what is it at here? At a 20. So we're still in that extremely fearful zone. And we again said, hey, look, we want to see this hang out in the fearful zone, maybe, between 30, 60, 90 days, something like that, for a bottom to be put in. And yesterday was a very critical day, and the Fed did go ahead and reaffirm their stance. They're going to raise rates starting in March, and they're going to begin to taper. And Mr. Powell basically said, hey, look, I don't care what you guys think. Inflation's higher than expected, and we will combat that with force if we need to, which is kind of what I thought they would do. In fact, the stock market crash, that's not even a crash. That's a little hiccup. So why not, come out and just do what they said they're going to do? They had the opportunity, right? And so Bitcoin did get slacked on the face here yesterday as we came in our blue box territory, which we were talking about on the hourly time frame. And what did we say yesterday is, look, if we were very likely going to get a move if we broke this 36,000, we were going to get a move up to our blue box territory right there at 37,800. And we said if we got an hourly closure above there, hey, we're probably going to stab into this next blue box. Probably, I thought we were going to hit the top side at 39,300, but we just stabbed in there. And as the Fed announced, or as I believe the minutes were kind of forecast on YouTube beforehand, right? What do they said what they were going to say before they said it. And then as the interview kind of rolled out, Powell essentially was a little more firm on his stance. And that's why the market, and I was saying a rally into an event like this, if we had any kind of a negative news, which negative news was basically Powell's going to keep the hard pace interest rate, 4 interest rate hikes, plus he's going to start the tapering. So that's going to suck liquidity out of the market. And, at best here, what do I think? What's going on right now? So, and it looks like, Bitcoin broke down a little bit. We're still in this falling channel, which I was pointing out to a friend of mine here. So first, we're going to start on the hourly time frame. Why not? Why not? And how am I looking at this? It's trend, momentum, and volatility. So what is the trend, right? We do have a higher high and a higher low. We got a higher high. We got our first lower low. Was that a lower low right there? Yeah, we did. Lower low, lower high. We got another lower high. And yeah, I would expect this to come back down and fill out this region somewhere between 34 and 33,000, as we discussed yesterday. We only got to move down to about 35,760. So that leaves us for a little more downside. Now, that's what the hourly is looking like. And just to kind of look at our moving averages here a little more, let's say, what we're looking for is a death cross or a golden cross, in a sense, right? So what is a death cross versus a golden cross? Death cross is to the downside move. A golden cross is something to the upside. So the yellow 21 crosses the green 55, and we're going to call that a golden cross. And that is really a perfect signal in our format, right? You get the cross, you test the green 55, that's your buy, okay? Now what do we have here? What do we have here? We got the death cross, yellow 21 crossing the green 55, and typically, you know, you want to buy the green 55, the test, right? Sometimes it overshoots it a little bit, just like this, and that's okay. Typically, you don't want to see an open and a closure above the green 55, but in an hourly time frame, that's okay. This actually would have got me out of the. Let's see. So we would have sold. You could sell here, right? That's the easy peasy way to do it, right? The real test is when you sell on the green 55, right? And that typically is going to give you your second drive off of that move. So what does the second drive look like? Well, it should be something similar to the first drive, right? Which, oh, what do you know? That gives us that shot down to 34,000. So I love how that just lines up perfectly. So I should take a little time right now and go put some positions on, but I'm gonna entertain you guys for. And by the way, the sound quality has been so bad on these videos. Whoever is stuck around with me for the past while, go ahead and post a comment below. I'm gonna give out some free Bitcoin today. So all you need to do is post a comment below, and then post it in. Just to post a comment below, and what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pick a random person today, and we will give out, let's see, I don't want to overshoot this. How much Bitcoin should we give out today, Dana? $100 worth of free Bitcoin. All right, just post a comment below, and we're going to pick one random person out of a hat tomorrow, and you will get your free Bitcoin. All you got to do, post a comment in our YouTube channel and get $100 worth of free Bitcoin. Doesn't get easier than that. All right, now jumping back into this Bitcoin. Now we're on the hourly time frame. We were talking about the golden cross and the death cross, right? That is a death cross, and how I would be looking at this. Oh, come on. How I'd be looking at this is the death cross. All right, so death cross, boom. So we put the sell order in right here, and then how do you set your stop market? So typically you want to take the range wick low behind the cross, or that would be the range wick high right there, excuse me, and you set it like slightly above there. And some traders will set it up here, but let's say you set your stop market right there. What's the stop market? That means if the price hits that level, your account will instantly sell the market orders in the book right there. I don't know if that makes sense to y'all, but I will have to explain it on a live video another day. But anyways, this would keep us in the trade. So we're still in this trade, and we're looking for that downside move. And how would you take profits? Well, some guys would say this is just going to get a move to the bottom side of the range, which is what kind of move is that? That's a 2% move, right? So if you did that on 5x leverage, right, or 2x leverage, and I don't recommend you do that, but you can get a 10% move on an hourly trade and go home and enjoy your dinner, right? I'm gonna go ahead and close this door here as well. The world's best brothers, yes. All right, so we got the hourly, and what do we have? Momentum is up here, about to cross down. That doesn't really give us anything. And then we want to look for bullish or bearish divergence, right? So, and volatility, right? Volatility is decreasing. So, it doesn't look like that it's contracting, right? So that's typically more of a sign of consolidation. I don't really see a big move coming at the moment, but do we have any bullish or bearish divergence? How would we identify that? Now, again, what is bullish or bearish divergence? And gosh, after years of studying bullish and bearish divergence, it's still tricky. It's still not easy to identify. So this is a learned skill that you over time will, develop. But the RSI is our relative strength index. So it's measuring the strength of the move versus the price action. So, we're in this downtrend, right? We got lower highs, lower lows, and another lower high. So, but what do we have on RSI? So this is between this point and this point. Come on, all these lines need to get off my page. So between this point and this point, you have a lower high, correct? And then between this point and this point, you have a higher high. So if price is making lower highs, price making lower highs, price making lower highs, price making lower highs, and RSI is making higher highs, that is hidden bearish divergence. That's exactly what we want to see on this play. So that is going to give us a move down, likely to that 35,831. And if that breaks, how would we measure that out? Will that give us the move to what we were looking for? Really simple, just, range high to range low. And yeah, that puts us at 34.5. I'd say we do probably head down towards about 34,000 on Bitcoin. If this guy, especially if the Stokes want to cross down, that'll give us our downwards momentum. And then we want to see a slight tick up in volatility. So it's trend, momentum, and volatility. And with what the stock market is doing right now, a very weak bounce at that. Still caught in this little range right here. I think this is a little bit of a relief rally, a little bit of hopium for the markets. And in fact, I think what Powell did yesterday was actually a good thing, right? If he would have came out and said, oh yeah, we're walking back everything we said, it would just show how weak the economy really is. Now, if we have a bit of strength, that shows, yes, we can handle a little interest rate hike, combat inflation, cut back all the spending, right? The spending is just out of control anyways. We all know that. So that's on our hourly time frame. So hourly, yeah, could get a decent little move right there. Let's check out Bitcoin on the 4-hour chart. And I'm going to see if I can pull up one of my other Bitcoin charts. It's not all marked up, so you guys can... Oh, I don't like that button. Come on, go away. All right, so what is the 4 hour? So we still are on the downside trend, right? And you can see, where did we get that death cross? Way up here at 49,000, right? So you would have taken a short position right there, stop market, somewhere below the range highs. And I mean, that's a very nice move, right? I mean, would you guys have been happy with a downside move like 32%? Not bad, right? Even if you would have got half of that trade or 70% of that move, very nice move, very easy move to be looking at. So that's on the 4 hour. So what do you do when you're in this trade and you're in a profit? And, typically what people will do is wait for an open and closure back above the green 55, and that gets you out of the trade. And as you can see, that would have got you out. That would have got you out. So you've already been out of it. But hey, some profit is better than no profit. That's the old saying. And let's check it out on the daily. So 1 hour, 4 hour, and daily. And you can see daily is just nosediving here, getting ridden down by this 9 exponential. And I do think, as I've been saying, as Bitcoin probably at some point, it could go back up to 40,000 this week, right? I do believe yesterday with that failed rally and the bad news on the Fed, we are, I'm more angled to the downside right now. I do think 30,000 will get hit at some point, whether it's this week or next week. At some point that's going to fill out. And, you can see the death cross starting back there on December 3rd, which led to our December 4th dump. And we've been following this for a long time now. So what are we looking for? How do we identify a macro low? And again, I think at best, with the way the market responded yesterday, and just all in general, the weekly downtrend that we are in, at best, Bitcoin trades between 45 and 30,000 over the next 6 months. And if we break 30,000, 25 to 22 becomes this real target. So you know, Bitcoin doesn't always go up, right? And you have to be prepared on how to trade for the downside. And that's why we are teaching technical analysis. That's why we have a free tutorial you can download. Just follow the, just look at our videos, go down to the Trading View tutorial, get set up. You can use a link in our description below and get a little discount when you sign up. But it's free anyway. So what are we looking for on the weekly again? And this is the big thing to be aware of, especially if you're not, watching Bitcoin every day and you just, this is a new thing for you. But there's something called a bull trap, right? And how do you trap bulls? Well, you get the bulls really excited. They're all running up the hill, right? They're going up. And then what happens? They get trapped. The price stops and they're trapped. And what happens? The bears take over and it comes back down. So a bull trap gets everybody excited. They think the prices are going to go up, and then it kind of gets slammed right in their faces. And where are we looking for a bull trap? As we did mention, somewhere between, on the weekly, it'd be probably between here, coming in between 48 and 52,000. If we see any kind of weakness around there, and I really think the bull trap could come anywhere between the 0.5 and the 618, right? That's where, if we see any kind of a weakness over the next few weeks or months, as Bitcoin is very, very likely to, take a little pile up here. If we see any kind of weakness there, and especially we close back below the 382, that'll be our sign. Time to get short. Time to play this thing to the downside. And guess what? We can make a lot more money to the downside faster. Typically, the old saying is you take the stairs up and then you take the escalator down, right? So we'll be keeping an eye on that on the weekly time frame. And what else do I want to cover? What is the hopium for the day? I'm not a bear. I'm not thinking that Bitcoin's going to go to zero, right? Bitcoin is going to be a long-term asset for everybody to enjoy, especially if you understand the underlying market dynamics. And speaking of that, why don't we check in on a few others? We looked at open interest. We looked at the global, the fear and greed index. Let's take a look at those funding rates. So yeah, and we are negative right now, and coming into some negative territory is not bad. So negative 0.01%, 0.01%. And really, we want to see that come down a bit more. I'd say 0.03% or 0.05%. And that would probably indicate to me that, hey, maybe a bottom's getting put in. What else? Open interest, funding rates, and the leverage ratio, right? So the leverage ratio, whenever there's a lot of leverage in the market, that tells us that a huge move is going to come. And right now, leverage is at an all-time high. All-time high, we're talking about 0.2%. That's, this blue line right here. And you can see price correlation. When leverage gets high, typically you're going to end up with some kind of a downside move. And we've already started to see that, right? And we want to see a reset on the leverage ratio. Get it back down to, where was the reset in May of 2020, right? May of 21, we got down to 0.09 or not 0.9% leverage ratio. So January, May, what happened in December? So this was December 6th, right? So what happened December 6th on price action? As the leverage ratio went from this level right here at, call it 0.2% down to 0.16%. We shaved off about 20% there. And the leverage ratio, and what did Bitcoin's price do on December 6th? Where did we go? January, December. Oh, let's look at it on the daily time frame right here. Oh, is that December 6th? So as the leverage was washed out, right, all the people that were over levered, they were buying right here. Why? They were going long. They thought, hey, look, this thing's going to party on to the upside and go, phew. And what happened? No, the exact opposite. Leverage was so high, it was a big indicator that we were going to get a downside move. We got the death cross there, timed it perfectly, and that's what happened. And nobody times it perfectly, right? Don't get me wrong. I make a lot of mistakes. I don't do anything perfect, but over time, if you can, consistently make trades based on your trading strategy, right? Consistently making trades based on your trading strategy. And I don't know what yours is, but that's something you have to determine for yourself, whether you're going to be a short-term trader, whether you're going to be a scalper, whether you're a long-term hodler, or maybe you're just kind of a macro trader. You want to make 2 or 3 trades a year based on what the underlying market dynamics are doing. And we do have a free investor guide that you can click on the link in the description below and kind of read up on the different services that we offer. Okay, what else did I want to talk about here? So we talked about Bitcoin on the hourly, the 4-hour, and the daily. What else does people want to talk about? People want to hear about. And feel free to comment below. What do you guys want to hear about? What sounds fun? What's interesting? But let's take a look at Ethereum. We're still in the death cross on this guy. Here's what's given away to me on Ethereum that very, very likely we still have a little more downside pressure, and it's not all over. I mean, Ethereum is an interesting, highly esteemed piece of technology, and I do think there is a time and a place where Ethereum could, rise to a much, much higher status quo than it's at right now. But typically, when you get a tick below this last low on the quarterly, you're going to get a move down to the 9 exponential. The monthlies are already basing off here, off the 21. That's typically going to be a great bouncy territory. And I would say in line with Bitcoin, that the low on Ethereum, I don't think Ethereum takes out 1,300 on a monthly closing basis, which is coming in at that last high right there, and that is our 2018 high. And so a test down here, could it get a wick down? Yeah, absolutely. I would just consider that a major buying opportunity. Why? No matter what Mr. Powell does, no matter what I'm starting a new campaign called Pray for Joe Biden, right? Because, gosh, we're supposed to pray for our people in leadership. Unfortunately, the people that are there, they need a lot of prayer right now. So everybody pray for Joe Biden. Okay, back onto our topic here. We got, so that could be a major buying opportunity. And on the daily, let's check it out on the 4-hour. Is Ethereum going to get a little bit of a relief rally on the 4-hour? So again, this is almost like a reconfirmed death cross when you see all the prices, the moving averages kind of bunched together there. And that's kind of your signal, okay, this death cross is going to continue on. But as you can see, as you almost get the cross, right, we come back down, we test the green 55, and then what? You get the second move. The second drive is typically the biggest drive, and that's the one you want to play off of. So you would have sold right there, and boom, how would you know to take profits? Well, you typically want to take profits when volatility gets maxed out. That's when the end of a move is. So when the volatility is maxed out, that's when likely you're going to start to see some consolidation, right? And what do you know? Ethereum consolidating right now. And so is this a bit of a bearish reset? I would say yes. Why is that? Well, you're going to have bearish divergence. Right now, you have Stokes getting a reset, the momentum indicator, right? They're coming way down. And no, bearish reset. So these are still pointed down. That means we've got plenty of room to go to the downside, right? If these were way down here, might be a little different story. Additionally, a little bit of bearish divergence. So again, what does that look like? You got a high here, a lower high, and a lower high. So, and then what is the RSI doing? So price is making lower highs, RSI is making higher highs. So this is going to correlate with that point. And I'll just draw it out for you again, so you can begin to see, is it hidden bearish divergence or is it regular bearish divergence? And I believe it is hidden bearish divergence. So In the context of a downtrend, that's when you're going to see hidden divergence. In a downtrend, price is making lower highs, RSI is making higher highs. And what do we have here? RSI is making higher highs, right? Do you guys see that? So you got 1, 2, 3 lower highs, and we got 1, 2, 3 higher highs. And we've got momentum down. All we want to do right now is see volatility tick up on the 4-hour, and I believe that will give us the next drive down to our next target. So how do we draw this baby out? Right here. How would we draw this out? Boom, something like that. And I like to use fib retracements too, but this is an easy way to do it. And so any kind of a 4-hour closure back below 2200, that could give us a nice move. I mean, all the way down to, what is that, 1700. And I'm gonna go ahead and use my fib tool. And the way you do that is you use the, usually use the range. So this is the range, and that'll probably give us a little bit of a smaller move. So bearish retracement from the bottom up. You can go wick to wick. I'll go body to body for more conservative. So really I'm looking for a move down to about 2000. This is a little bit more aggressive, and that's lining up with the 2618. So usually what happens, and I don't know why. I don't know why it works, but it just does. But this fib retracement thing, what happens is you break this line, you're gonna go down to the 1618. That'll be your first test, right? Typically a sell, typically you get a little bounce off of this guy, but the bounce usually gets faded and heads to that 2618. So measure move on this guy down to 1567. I'd say that's a little more on the aggressive side for a 4-hour, unless volatility really wants to tick up and get back to 100 percentile. If you do see that, that'd be a good indicator. Hey, probably going to get that move, especially alongside Bitcoin. If Bitcoin wants to dump out here and head down to our target at about 34,000, somewhere around that range. Okay, back to Ethereum. And yes, I like what I see, what's happening over here. These guys are starting to dump out. Really fun stuff. All right, what else do I want to show? No, I'm not even going to show that because it's too dangerous. It's not for YouTube land yet, but we'll get into some of the other fun coins later. But Adam really taking it on the chin here. And again, this is kind of a confirmed another death cross, and this consolidation. Yeah, it looks like Adam wants to head back down to about 28 bucks or hit the measure move here, which we've been kind of waiting on off of this break of this guy. I mean, what a fake out. Adam's been one of the strong Cosmos, right? Whatever it does, Cosmopolitans. I don't know what it does, but it's really popular. It's really trendy. And the macro uptrend has been in place for some time now. And we haven't really gotten a blow off top like some of these other altcoins that have just blown their thing to the moon. And yeah, that measure move almost got hit exactly to the T on the green 55. And you will see that that green 55, typically a basing area. And as long as we don't have an open and closure below that guy, that will, and this is on a 5-day time frame, that means we're still, kind of trending up here. But this thing's getting weaker and weaker by the day. And I would say it looks like, let's see, on the daily. Hopefully you guys enjoy this new camera angle. Hopefully the sound comes out okay. Hopefully everything works out just fine. I'm trying something new today, okay? And last but not least, what do we have? So I'm gonna wrap it up. Adam, looks like it's gonna take a leg down. Phantom, very similarly to Adam. I don't want to go too deep into these guys here today, but these have been some of the higher trending altcoins. And what I'm going to say is whatever Bitcoin does, these guys are going to do more probably in this time of the market. And especially if NASDAQ wants to come break below 1370, not going to be good. Same thing with S&P, right? So very important things to come, very important week to come. We are going to be watching what CME does for the weekly closure. And I think we covered everything. Again, I said it yesterday, Powell was going to reaffirm his stance on the 4 rate hikes starting in March. I thought that could make for a bloody end of the week. This isn't blood. There's no blood in the streets here. This is, we're still playing in the kiddie pond, and that's good. So we'll check in with you next time. Don't forget, make a comment, post something below. What do you want to hear about? What news do you want to hear about? What do you want to learn about? And out of all those comments today, as long as you are not a troll, if you're a real person, we're going to pick somebody out and give you $100 worth of Bitcoin. Look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Take care and have a blessed day.